This is Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and I want to talk about orchard floor and what you need to do to manage an orchard floor to grow your tropical fruit trees. And for us, it's just following the 5 soil health principles, and the most important one is do not disturb. And I guess that one is there so that you can see what happens in your system. It's about being able to read your system. We have 10 acres of ground, and I do all the work myself. It's 100% done by me, and we don't use machinery. Well, I mow a path and I mow the edges, but that's it. I use a wheelbarrow for everything. We hike into the system. So I get a view of what's going on here, and I walk the entire 10 acres a couple times a day. So when we first started here, it was lawn, and nothing would grow. I planted the trees in it. I put my wood chips around. You know, I only talk pretty much about biological primers, but you have to do everything. Everything that is known to the permaculture world and the syntropic world applies to the natural world. So you have to distribute carbon. I just don't talk about that a lot. So we have lots of trees here, and I like limbs, but we've done wood chips. We have a wood chip mulcher on our tractor, but I believe the unprocessed wood is the best thing, and they're inoculated already with mushrooms. So you have to distribute that stuff around. It's just a known given. For some reason, people think that I don't use wood chips or wood. I kind of don't have to, but we do get a lot of limbs still, and we have pepper trees that I like to control, and so I distribute those around. The leaves, this grass system catches all the leaves. When I first moved here and it was lawn, and I continued with the lawn, I couldn't understand where all the leaves were because there had all these trees and there wasn't any leaves anywhere. Turns out that all this stuff captures the debris. So this stuff, which was a monocrop lawn, is no longer a monocrop lawn. It's a multi-species dynamic plant system that, being dynamic, it changes all the time. Some of this stuff remains the same, but during this, different annuals pop up, and some perennials lose their leaves, or most of them, or die back a lot in the winter, so other stuff takes over. But generally, except for this past year, it's kind of green year-round. We had the freeze, so that made it turn brown. So I don't look for an enemy to eradicate. I look at everything as there for a reason if it was there and I hadn't touched it. And the grass started growing and it looked horrible, so I right away started spraying Biodynamic Prep 500, the horn manure, and I kind of didn't 100% believe in it. I was like almost there, but I didn't see the proof. I like to see the proof. So at the base of the grass, after about 2 weeks, 10 days, I reached down and found soil aggregation, and it blew my mind. That's when I first discovered that yes, you can build soil in Florida. So we have so many different grass types here, and grass that's the soil builders. You can't really do it without the grass. So we have like torpedo grass in here, and fescues and sedges, and the neighbors say they don't like to have sedge growing in their system. Everyone has a product that they hate, that they try to eradicate, or they do eradicate. Us trying to eradicate 10 acres of grass would be not only totally stupid, but impossible, since I'm the only one that does the work on 10 acres. The only reason why you would remove all the grass probably is if you were told by somebody or you read somewhere that, yeah, that's bad. And I did a search on torpedo grass and saw that there was like 50 reasons how to kill invasive torpedo grass. But you know, it's not a problem. Here, we're not growing vegetables, but you can grow vegetables in torpedo grass, people. You have to put down compost just like you would to grow vegetables normally. This is to grow tropical fruit trees. So the torpedo grass, it like disappears on its own. It gets out-competed. And the way that was possible was we applied compost. So we changed the biology in our living root system. There's some torpedo grass right there. We changed the biology in our living root system to something that did not favor low nutrient torpedo grass. And you can increase the nutrients of your torpedo grass with biology. Just for all you people that don't know this, we get pollinators on our grasses because we have high nutrition in our soil. Diversity. Diversity is nutrition. So there's a piece of torpedo grass right here too. It just doesn't, it's kind of not a problem. So, but trying to remove it all, I just couldn't imagine trying to do that. You would have to have just more money than brains to be doing something like that. Like my neighbor who clear-cut his forest and drove all over it, hauling all the logs and trees. I tried getting his logs and trees, but as soon as he found out I wanted them, he decided he would just burn them all. So we went through 8 months of burning a whole 3-acre forest, old growth forest, more dense than this. Not as big a trees, but maybe the second. There were some old palm trees. He cut them all down. He cut everything down. And then he kept mowing, and he kept glyphosating his mangoes, and he planted like an acre of dragon fruit, the white flesh kind is what he told me. And he's never gotten any fruit, or very little. So he has all these water issues because he removed the grass. You need the grass so that the tall grass, I'm not talking lawn is not grass. You need the grass so that the water can move through the soil, the hydrology of your soil will be correct. So you don't get standing water, because we don't have standing water, and we have lower property than our neighbors in some areas because they built theirs up, and they still have little pond lakes on top of their high ground that they built. Something we don't have. So we changed the biology with high-end inputs: biodynamic compost, compost teas, earthworm castings, all organic stuff, raw manure, because this is going to be our pasture for our little miniature darling cattle, our zebus, our miniature zebus. So the only way to remove all the grass that you dislike would be to just, it would be a full-time job doing that, not 24/7, by probably a multiple people to actually make headway with it. really kind of bad for the environment. Not kind of, it's extremely bad for the environment. And it's old-fashioned. I think I'm the only one that I've seen in Florida that touts this form of biological farming. And if you're looking up 30 ways to get rid of torpedo grass, this probably isn't your channel. You should probably be on Facebook looking for your friends. That's just how it goes. I want to help clean up Florida, and if you don't agree with how I do it and you think you have a superior way that you're going to try to force on me with your blogs and not sharing information like being able to grow ingot trees in the elephant grass, then I'm probably going to hide your comments. That's just how it goes. I get too stressed out by people, and I kind of like just walking around here and communicating with my system on how to improve Florida's ecological health. That's what I like to do. The trees, the torpedo grass isn't an issue once you fix the biology in your already living system. Your lawn that's on life support for natural systems. All of the trees, my trees I couldn't plant, couldn't communicate with the large trees, the nitrogen fixing trees, the roots. They couldn't commingle because it was mowed and tamped down. And when you mow and tamp down, or mulch and gets tamped down by rain, and you walk on it and you drive on it, the network, the hyphal network, is so much more than that. That's just one small aspect. Can't communicate with the organisms that are living in your torpedo grass. There's one little spot here of torpedo grass. What does the soil look like in the torpedo grass? I'm curious. Hopefully this will be good, and I can put an end to this stupidity. There you go. The black stuff was what's on top. That's soil aggregation, people, in case you don't know. And the sand is underneath, but the top stuff is soil aggregates. I'll try to get this one right here. And that's what it is. And this is during summer when we have torrential rains of 4 inches or more in 45 minutes. This stuff moves. Your soil is like your orchard floor. It is a dynamic, everything is moving. It's all the molecule ions, they're floating through the air, they're moving through the soil, and they're inside the plants, and they're inside you. So this is torpedo grass. This is what it does. That's stable organic matter, mineralized soil aggregate. There's the sand in it. So sand and some other stuff. The white stuff is the sand. So the destruction of like pulling that out and scraping off the aggregates is just like, I mean, who even is like, that's, I'm just not even going to entertain stupidity like that anymore. It's like, as soon as I see something like that, I'm just going to give you a chance, and then I'm going to hide those comments because they were just designed to aggravate me and send me off course. My message of ecology for Florida, to grow tropical fruit trees, high-dollar tropical fruit trees. Anyway, this is Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and that's biological primers and compost can change what grows in your monocrop lawn if you let it. Nature do it. Have a good day.